Hi, this is Cousyn, Chief Operating Officer for BDSec with your weekly market update. Let's start with the macroeconomic and political news. It's been a very volatile time where politics are concerned. But just as of last week, the cabinet for the new Prime Minister was established, and also the prior weekend, Grand Coalition was established between the DP and the MPP, which was followed actually by just about every other political group in the country joining this coalition. And so what you have for the first time in several years is actually a coalition which comprises 73 the 76 seats in Parliament, with only the only opposition being the 3 independent members. And so what that means for investors is stability, and that's a very important feature going forward, because over the last 2.5 years you've had a divided government. The MPP, the Mongolian People's Party, comprised a significant portion of Parliament. They were excluded from government, and that made decision making and passing laws very difficult. So we've moved towards a much more stable environment. The government has already proceeded fairly quickly with respect to moving Ernest Tolgoi along, aka Big TT. Energy Resources, also known as Mongolia Mining Corporation, has indicated they have a group that's going to bid for a share of the company, and that's going to be a very positive thing from a foreign direct investment standpoint, because at long last the government is going to sell down their stake, not only in Ernest Tolgoi, but a great many companies. And so that process is moving. And what's up next is OT, and that's really the big one. That's the one that the government needs to get their arms around. They need to get phase 2 going. They need to get the project finance funded, and really put that problem and issue of phase 2 and OT behind them. And we think once that happens, and that could be by year end, and that could be, it definitely needs to be, we think, by the Sagansar holiday, which will be early February. But this deal needs to get done, and we think it is in fact a win, not if proposition. We just don't know exactly when, but when it gets done, you're going to see a very, very strong recovery in Mongolian asset prices and just confidence in general. It's essential going into 2015 that this issue be resolved, because 2015 is going to be a tough year in terms of economic growth. The central bank raised interest rates. The budget for 2015, especially in US dollar terms, is considerably lower than that of 2014 or 2013. And so what the Mongolian economy really needs is organic growth. And that organic growth is going to come from getting OT going and ETT going, and restoring confidence for foreign investors. And so moving to the stock specific side, the best performing stock on the MSC continues to be shares of HB Oil, symbol HBO, or oil recycling company, with a joint venture with DPRK National Oil Company. Those shares hit 600, 2 groups a share. About a year and a half ago, they were down at 200, and so that stock continues to be particularly strong. And then what you have with the rest of the market is effectively a range-bound market, where maybe the lower end of the range is 14,500 on the MSC top 20, and the upper range about 17,000. So you're at the lower part of that range, Um, but in US dollar terms, these stocks are extremely cheap. So investors can approach these names that are trading towards the lower end of their range, but at the same time also invest at a time when the MNT is just maybe a 1.5, 2% off its weakest levels against the U.S. dollar, and that's a feature that you see in not only emerging markets but frontier markets like Mongolia, where you do have the U.S. dollar strength globally. But we think that presents a really compelling opportunity for long-term investors to come in and buy these companies that are very cheap at a time where there still is uncertainty from an investor standpoint. And so we'll see how the end of the year shapes up, but the near term is very much focused on what this new government can and will do, and we think that the potential is very, 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 very good. We think that the new leadership is willing to act, and that's really what's going to dictate asset prices, be them sovereign bonds, MSC listed stocks, or foreign listed equities. And so we continue to just love Mongolia for the long term. It's going to be a wonderful place to invest, for long-term investors, and we continue to advise frontier funds and those who have interest in the company to look at what's available here and learn about some of these companies. And so with that, I'll conclude my weekly update, and look forward to updating you again soon. Thank you.